Morning traders. Today was unfortunately another small step back from our $25,000 next milestone. I basically got a red today, and then the CPI report came out, which was just horrible, and also massively reducing my chances to get back in the green today because it reduced opportunity. Since the CPI was so impactful, let's go ahead and go to the trading screen and talk about that first, and then we'll dive into the tickers. We'll do a little bit of a speed round, and then at the end, I want you guys to tell me where the problem was with my trading today, and then I'll let you know what my thoughts were. So it doesn't really take a long time to find the bad news. Right here's an example. CPI index came out. It grew another 1.3% month over month. CPI surged to 9.1% year over year versus 8.8% estimated, and an 8.6% last reading. Last reading was supposed to be the high, and it just keeps going up. So look at this. This is the SPY right here. When the CPI report came out at 8:30, it just took a huge tank, 3%. And if we zoom out to this chart just a little bit more, give a good bird's eye view, that's always really important. Start on the larger time frame, then zoom in. But I was already on the 1 minute, so I'm sorry. Yeah, we've been on this just steady decline here, descending channel. And today we had that little pop up, and then the CPI came out and broke us right back down. We have a lot of support around 373. So I'm kind of wondering if this zone will hold. So far, we have actually bounced off of it a little bit, making a bit of a triple bottom right now. And if this breaks, I could see it's going down to 364 fairly quickly. And if that doesn't turn into a double bottom, who knows? But if we just go to the daily really fast, if we really break this 364 zone, who knows where the bottom's going to be? We'll probably have more support coming in around 350 and so on, but that would be pretty nasty, and it could be a very quick sell-off. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. It's a bit anyone's guess, and it's definitely not my domain. But this is the reason the small caps really died out today. So if we just come over to my trading today, I didn't do a lot of trades, only 145 fills, which was like, what, 20 trades or so. And I just was red on pretty much every ticker except VERU. And this is just crazy. My first trade on XRTX basically got me in the hole, and then I wasn't able to really crawl out of that hole. I tried a bunch of other tickers. None of them had continuation. And then with the CPI, I felt like, oh, like the life just went out of the small cap market. You could really feel it. And I was like, there's probably no chance I'm going to get back in the green today. Usually being down $400 doesn't really bother me that much. I could get that back, in one trade, even like a scratch trade, it's not even like that crazy, but I just didn't have that opportunity. And then at the same time, I feel like trying to get back into the green today was almost more risky than just cutting it, because if you just really try and you're down and the market's not good, there's a good chance you just might continue digging yourself in a hole. So I was like, whatever. I was happy I got a little trade on VERU because this was actually one of my last trades. So I was down like around $600 today at one point, and that's a little bit annoying. I don't really like to be down over 500. Obviously 1,000 is my max loss, but it feels like, a decent little red day here. Okay, so let's dive through these tickers. Anytime there's 6 tickers, you usually know it's not a good thing. So let's just go through them pretty fast. And the whole time we're going through the tickers, I'm not gonna say what I really did wrong till the end. Leave a comment below. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts while I'm looking into the tickers. It's always nice having those discussions later on. So let's start with XRTX, because this is actually the first ticker I traded, and I'm down 400 on this one. I was actually down more on this one at one point, a little bit embarrassing. And this was an honest mistake on my end, because I just came to the party today a little bit late. I was held up in the kitchen. That's a whole different story. I basically sat down, but my TOS wasn't open. I had to open it up. Everything was finally running at like 7:03. Usually I'm ready to go at 6:50, like, pretty much relaxed, waiting for the pre-market to start at least at 7 a.m. So today, everything was a little bit rushed, and that kind of totally threw me off my flow. It's not the most beautiful ticker on the daily. We're not even going to dive into it so much. We're just going to look at the intraday price action really quick. So it pops up here. Finally, I'm ready to trade. It's at its high. I'm buying for this micro pullback here, looking for that continuation at $3. I end up stopping out almost at the perfect low just to have this thing reverse and run 25%. I get, a little bit of FOMO, do some small trades here, and then give back again here in this area. And I'm just like, that was the worst trading I've ever did. I already know what my mistake was, besides, being out of my flow and kind of coming in a little bit late. There's another mistake I did. So I'll share that with you guys at the end. Now let's go to the next ticker, WYY. Oh my God, this is just a barrage of horrible tickers. This ticker popped up really quick, pulled back. I went for the pullback, And this one, I did the mistake I said I was not going to do yesterday, and I still did it. I bought my first size here. It pulled up. I bought into this potential breakout, and then it sold off, and I closed for a loss. And I was like, did I just average into a winner in a bad market? Did I just really do that again? So that was a really annoying loss. This should have been a small green trade. Either way, it would have never been a big winner, but hey, it should have definitely not been a loser. IS, this is actually our lead gapper today for a bit, and actually right now it was for a little bit. XRTX was really the main one today for a while. Now this ticker, look at the daily. It has really nice high relative volume. It's actually holding its highs relatively okay, but the 5-minute right now is really, really choppy in this zone. It's totally stuck in a range. And this is what we basically had from 7 till 750 or so. This like total grind of a move here. Really not my favorite price action. And then a lot of red volume takes over, and then the CPI report comes out. So the opportunities today were just so limited on IS. There's really nothing to say. This is just like not my favorite price action right here. It's just a grinder. They're tricky to trade. APEN, look at this one. Pretty rough on the daily, a lot of resistance, backside pattern overall with huge resistance around 5.5. The relative volume is actually quite nice. I did like that about it, but I had a hard time trading this one because it was a little bit inconsistent. There was a lack of continuation. So we had a break here, but no continuation. A breakout here, but no continuation. So today was just a day where my strategy was basically null and void. And that's why I'm not super focused on a lot of these tickers in the review. Now, SONM was a distinguishedly bad ticker, very low, basically no relative volume here. So that's really nasty. And 5-minute was just choppy. It was never really up that much. It was like up 40% maximum. And then right around this area, I went for the pullback. But look at this. Literally, as I traded it, the volume just fell off a cliff. And I was like, okay, there we go. And then VERU, the only ticker that I was able to get green on. I think there was some good potential on XRTX. I think I could have been green on XRTX. I was just late to the party today, and that was the only opportunity really where I could have made decent money, where my setup actually worked once. So once I fumbled on that, and then the CPI came out, I kind of knew I messed up today. Now VERU was kind of like my little bit of a bliss today. Now this ticker we've been seeing so much, we've talked about so much on. Look at this daily. It's been trying to break this $15 zone and hold this area for so long. Relative volume today fairly light, and now the volume is fading here, not really the best. It had a nice breakout here at $15. Volume was starting to increase, and you know this is like a $15, $16 stock, so this volume it could be more, but it's okay. And I bought this pullback. My first trade was actually red. I bought a little bit too high. I bought the second pullback here, and I just took profits quickly. I could have held a little bit longer, but every time I hold anything lately, in the last 3 days specifically, last week wasn't that great either. Although it was a really nice green week for me, it just wasn't great in continuation. So far, this week has also not been great in continuation. It just hasn't been good for me as well. So I was at least able to capitalize on this trade. I could have maybe kept trading this one, but man, in today's market, it felt like everything was negative risk reward, and at any moment, you were just about to get screwed over. So I don't really mind that I missed the rest of this opportunity and I sold early. I really don't mind. I wish I did that on all the other tickers as well. So what did you guys think I did wrong? Specifically, I guess you could say on XRTX, because this was like the game-changing ticker. This could have made me green on the day or red on the day. So let's really quickly go back to XRTX. It popped up here, nice breakout. Volume was a big red flag. So if you mentioned that, that's definitely good. But look at this rate of change, 130% and then 150% just in a few minutes. So that's a really bullish sign, but the volume's not there and the big time resistance. Now, what did I do with this tiny volume? I bought high. I got really aggressive on this. This was an emotional trade. This was FOMO fueled. If I bought here at 343, would have been much better. I was buying somewhere in this area, and then I stopped out at the perfect low just to see this ticker rip without me. And I did kind of some FOMO trades in this area, and I just kind of dug myself even deeper of a hole. So really my problem here was risk management, buying high on a light volume ticker that just literally ran up 150%. That is just bad risk management. You're definitely going to be risking a potential pullback. That's what happened here. It was like a 20% pullback. This was an 8% loss for me right here. Luckily, I only had $5,000 in it, but just like that, I took a pretty decent sized loss for what kind of felt like no reason. This felt like a really amateur hour move from my end, so I was a little bit ashamed of myself, and that's what happens when you're not totally dialed in, when you're not focused, and that's exactly what happened to me today. So it's really my fault, but it's just annoying because now it's getting a little bit repetitive after these last 3 days. Here you see it. I even have below 50% in total winners. This is actually pretty rare that it happens, even on my red days, because because typically my risk reward is negative, but my total winners is pretty high. I have a higher win ratio, but a very bad risk reward ratio, which is fine. That's kind of my strategy. That's like scalping. It's just me. Is what it is. But when my winning ratio and my risk reward is negative, that's how you know I did some pretty bad trading today. So I guess in a way I'm lucky it just wasn't a bigger red day. Especially because some of my trades, were also pretty big. My last trade here, $14,000. I had a lot of scratch trades though that I didn't really do much with. And then here you'll see my running P&L. At no point was I green today. I started off down 400. I dug myself out a little bit. I took a bunch of really lousy trades. Well, actually, these trades really weren't necessarily lousy. They were just lousy tickers. They're a bunch of potential setups without continuation. So it was just a bunch of paper cuts here. And then finally, I got VERU, and I was able to crawl back to some sort of range here in my losing red day. But frustrating for sure, and I'm ready for things to heat up a little bit more. Let's just hope it happens. Until it does, survive until you thrive. No need to push it. You don't have to trade every day. I like to watch every day. But hey, if there's nothing going on, trade light or don't trade at all. There's going to be more opportunities in the future. And on that note, I'll see you guys then first thing tomorrow morning. Like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.